Welcome to Public Sci Outdoors. We got a lot going on this channel now. It is scary and exciting times all in one here on Public Sci Outdoors. As you all know, we kind of do a preview of what we're going to be using for the year, the season of whatever year it is. We've done a couple of videos in the past and kind of go through the bow, the arrow setup, releases, whatever we may have come to change for that season. And we have got a lot of changes going on this year. 2019, 2020 will be nothing like it has ever been for me and the Public Sci Outdoors. So with that being said, we're going to jump right into it. You can see right behind me here, we have my Bowtech experience, which I have shot for the last 4 years and have been very happy with this bow. We have had some issues with it, and unfortunately we have come full circle with issues again this year. And I'm just going to cut to the chase and tell you what's going on. I did a video a while back, last year's hunt, or 2 years ago, I believe, 2 years ago, when I was up hunting with Joe at Halsey. I had some limb issues. This bow was bought used, so it had laminated limbs when I bought it, and I just chalked that up as being a used bow with laminated limbs. It's going to happen, okay? Well, a year or so ago, we bought new limbs for this bow, got them put on, and I don't know if it was set up correctly because it just never felt right after that. And to make a long story short, because I want to get into the fun things of this video, but to make a long story short, we have come up with the same issue with these limbs here too. It's just a hairline fracture working itself all the way up on that same side. I have ordered limbs. I do have some new strings for this bow. I will put the gentleman's name that made these custom strings. Well, not his name, but I don't have his name to be honest with you. But I will put his logo up on the screen here for you. But I gotta tell you, I gotta be honest with you, it's kind of got me a little spooked. I unfortunately think that this bow is just one of those bows that's gonna chew limbs, and there's nothing I can do about it. I don't know if I've got a bad cam, if the riser's bent. I don't know what's going on with it. It just is not holding those limbs up like it should. And this Bowtech experience, from what I can tell, I've never seen anything on it on the internet where people have had issues with it. But Bowtech has had limb issues in the past with the destroyers, and it's, I know they've come a long way, and I'm not bad-mouthing Bowtech by any means. I really, honestly did and still love this bow. This bow is a remarkable shooting bow. Very accurate. It's a great bow, a great shooting bow. But unfortunately, we have had those limb issues, and I'm hoping that this next set of limbs will hold up. But with that being said, every true hunter, in my opinion, should have a backup. And maybe I'm not a true hunter, I guess, but I've never ran into any issues where I've had to have a backup bow. And unfortunately, this is the year. So, this has kind of got me a little worried. And it's getting really close to season. We've got about a month away from opening antelope season here in Nebraska. So things are moving quick, and we're getting close, but we are not even set up right and comfortable I have not practiced hardly at all this year. Just because of issues with the bow and changing things and all that. So let's get right into it. Behind me here we have the unveiling of the new bow for the 2019-2020 season of Public Eye Outdoors. I'm just nervous. For the new 2019-2020 season here at Public Eye Outdoors, we are going with Mathews. Yes, Mathews has taken the place of my Bowtech for now. I gotta be honest with you, this has just got me a little scared, a little worried. And you know, I've done a lot of soul searching and comparing, and with all the different changes that I was bringing with this bow, I just decided that maybe it was time to change bow manufacturers, and that's what I've done. I've gone to the Mathews. You know, I've tried the I shot the Mathews and I shot Hoyt. Those were the two that I was going to come home with, and it was a tough decision. It really was. There was a lot of variables that were going either way on both bows, and they're both very well constructed bows. Here's the new bow for 2019. I've got it all covered up here. If I can get it uncovered. Wow, look at that, baby. Look at that. Here we have the new 2019 Mathews Traverse. This bow is awesome. I'm not going to get into all that with the specs and everything. There's plenty of videos out there on this bow. I will say it's a 33-inch axle to axle, so it's a longer bow, which I wanted because you can actually see that this bow, if you compare the two, are very similar in size. Okay, there's very little difference. I think they're both 33 or 30. This one might be 32, but I like that longer riser for my distance shooting. But yeah, like I said, I tried both the Hoyts, the RX3 with Hoyt, and the Traverse with Mathews, and I really enjoyed that RX3's draw, and the back wall and everything felt great, but I just wanted that longer axle to axle and a little bit heavier with the bow. This bow right now, as it sits with the rest, the stabilizers and everything, is around 7.28 pounds. What all brought this around was, besides the limb issue at the end, I bought this Fast Eddie XL. This is the sight that I'll be using this year. It's a 6-inch dovetail, single pin. Well, actually, it's a double pin. It's a single pin movable sight with another pin in the bottom of it. But really love that sight. I did get a chance to shoot it at a 3D tournament when I got this set up the first time this year with the new stuff on it. I went with that Fast Eddie XL double pin. But what was bringing all this change on was this sight is so heavy. It's almost a pound by itself. I mean, it's a well constructed sight. If you go back to my other videos, you will see that I was running the quivalizer on that bow, which stuck out, quite a bit to carry the arrows and stuff. And with this sight and that quivalizer on the front, it was so top heavy. And that's what brought about all the changes on this bow prior to the limb issues. The Bee Stinger, this is the Hunter Extreme series, the double bar. Now, so that's what we've got. We went with QAD, the HDX, the Mathews series rest for this bow. I also bought a QAD rest for my Bowtech, and so far I've really been happy with those. The peep sight, I had to change my peep sight. If you look on the housing of this, Spot Hog Fast Eddie XL, it's got a really nice big sized ring here. It gives you a second ring to kind of focus on if you got low light conditions or bright conditions. So that being on there pretty much made it about a 2-inch ring on the front of this. So I had to change the housing of my peep. This is from Specialty Archery peep housing, and I went with the verifiers in both of these bows. And when I put this one on, that verifier there, I believe, was a number 5, and I actually jumped up to the number 8 in this one. Quite a bit stronger. And what that verifier does is gives you a clearer picture. Say your eyes, I'm getting up there in age, so my eyes aren't quite working the way they should be, and I'm having a hard time seeing my pins up close. Anything up close, I have a hard time seeing without readers on. But I can't shoot with readers on, so I've got the verifier in there, which verifies my pins. Makes the target a little bit blurry, but not bad. I can still make out the target down range. And so that's what I've got running. This is a 1/4-inch housing for the peep sight. And like I said, that's from Specialty Archery. I'll put their name up on the screen here. We've got to do some tweaking. If you are in the Grand Island, Nebraska area or live around that area, I do want to mention that I purchased this bow from Island View Archery. There's a gentleman there by the name of Phil that runs that business and is very knowledgeable, and will be more than happy to help you with any questions or issues that you may have with your bow. So I will put up his information here on the screen for you, and you can check him out. Very, very knowledgeable. Been doing it a long time, playing the game a long time, both competitively and just in a hunting criteria too. So he's got a lot of insight on these bows. He carries Hoyt, Elite, and Mathews as of now. So got any questions on any of those, you can give him a call, and he'll be more than happy to help you out. Unfortunately, I had my release today, but I didn't have my arrows that I'm going to be shooting. And this is the arrow for the season that we're using. I've done a video on this arrow. This is the gold tip Kinetic Pierce Platinum. This is a micro diameter arrow, and I have built these from scratch. That we have a little bit of play in this D-loop, and I kind of figured that was going to be the case. He did not have any of the gold tips down there. He sells the Eastons and Beeman as far as arrow lines go, but there's just a little bit too much play in that D-loop, so we're gonna have to take it in. We're getting a little bit of a weird flight right now as it sits, and we kind of knew that going in, so I'm not concerned about that. with any bow setup, you're going to have to do some tweaks. And unfortunately, I didn't take an arrow with me so he could set it up for that arrow. And so we're going to have to go back and do that sometime this next week. Probably when I go down to get the limbs put on that Bowtech and the new string. The rest has not changed for this year. This is the Scott Halo. Really am happy with this release. This is a back tension. You've seen some of my other videos. Go back. I actually did a review of this when I first started shooting it, which was quite a bit ways back. But I haven't changed anything with that. With that release, I actually lost one a couple years ago, so I ended up having to buy a. At the time, I didn't have the money to buy the brass one, so I ended up buying the black. Let's see, this is the Black Hole 2 or 3, Black Hole 3. This is basically the same release as the Halo, but in an aluminum construction, quite a bit lighter, and not built quite as good as the Halo, but I have used this, and this is my backup. I throw this in my pack, so in case I'm a scatterbrain and I lose this again, I've got this as a backup, and it's basically the same thing without the money cost here that you would have with the Halo. But man, I am, like I said, I'm excited and anxious to get this thing out and put it to work and see if this thing will eat like I think it's going to. It's just a remarkable bow. It's a smooth drawing bow. Not a huge valley or back wall, but it just feels comfortable. So hopefully you will see me taking some deer and some antelope and whatever else that I can come up with this year. Eventually I want to get out and do a elk hunt, but I think we're going to have to wait a year before we do that. We're going to have to make that happen here in the next year or so. But very, very excited to get this year started. God willing, my health will hold up, and we're really looking forward to the 2019 hunting season. So stay with us here on Public Sci Outdoors, and we're gonna have fun this year. We're gonna put these new products to the test and just see how they hold up. So thanks for watching Public Sci Outdoors 2019-2020 setups for this year, and we will see you out there in the fields, and stay safe in your hunts, everybody. Catch you on the next video. Man, that's a good looking bow.